Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com and today I'm excited because I'm sharing some brand new floral stamp sets from Maker Forte. This first one here was designed by Varada Sharma and she is a brand new designer with Maker Forte in collaboration. This second one is designed by Syberia and she always has some of my favorite floral stamp sets ever. So I'm going to be making a card using those two stamp sets today and a couple of stencils. And these stencils were designed by Jess. These are all available over at Maker Forte and I will link all the supplies below. So if you want to check them out, you can head on over and take a look. So this first one, I'm going to get started with the Syberia flower and I'm going to be using this larger flower here. And then this sentiment that I love because it says, "To someone who makes others so very happy." I just thought that was really fun and I know a lot of people that I could send this card to. So I'm going to start off with a 80-pound Nina Solar White panel and I'm going to stamp on that flower using my favorite black ink from Maker Forte. This ink dries pretty quickly and so I'm going to be able to go ahead and put a mask right over it. Now I've already stamped and cut out this mask. This is just using some masking paper from Gina K, and I'm just going to place it right over the top of this flower. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to take the stencil and ink it up over this panel without getting any on that flower that we stamped. So that mask is going to do that job for me, and I'm just going to take some Kitsch Flamingo Distress ink and a blending brush and blend that right over the top. So easy to do and very simple. I'm holding it in place with this Make Art Station. Those magnets hold everything in place. And now take a look at this beautiful background we're getting. Now you can do these in any colors you want. Today I'm kind of using a monochromatic theme. And I'm going to peel off that mask using my rainbow magic wand. It's got a pick on one side, a craft pick on one side, and a gem placement tool on the other. So now I'll go ahead and stamp on that sentiment. I wanted to stamp the sentiment on after I did the ink blending so that I get a really nice crisp impression. I'm just going to set that aside while I ink up this other stencil. I'm using this really fun striped line stencil. It's kind of a wonky line. So I just take some mint tape, and this is from scrapbook.com. This tape is really fun. It's a very light tack, and it is made out of paper, so it's more like a Post-it tape, but it's going to be perfect for masking off some of those lines while we ink up all these colors. And I thought a rainbow of colors would be really fun for this background because I'm going to color up those flowers. The second set of flowers that I'm going to do here, I'm going to color them up like gardenias so they're kind of white or off-white. So I've just selected a rainbow of colors of distress inks to ink on. This first green here is the peeled paint, which I really like. And then I'm going to also use another green here, which is going to be the mowed lawn. There are plenty of lines here to do a couple different of each color. So I've got a couple greens, a couple blues. The first one was orange, then yellow. Now I'm going to do the peacock feathers, and I'm just going to go along using all my favorite rainbow colors of distress inks. These are my go-to colors when I want to do a rainbow. So naturally, that's what I'm drawn to. You can see that I do tap off the color on the right. I've got a scrap piece of paper there. I'm just trying to get a really light amount of each color here so that the flowers can really pop on this background. So here's another blue that I'm doing, and then I'll move on to purple. Now the purple is a very pigmented color, so you can see that I do kind of tap this off a number of times, and then I don't ink up very much on this purple. It's so vibrant, so you don't really need a lot. And I'm not pressing hard at all. I'm very, very lightly going over this paper. If your tape just jumps up like that, just push it back down. Like I say, it's just like Post-it tape, very light tack, so it's not going to peel up your paper. So that's one reason I do like it for this kind of a thing. And here's my last color just now. So this is very fast and easy to do. You don't have to do rainbow. You can do all the same color or do a couple different colors, your favorite color combination. I just think the lines on this turn out so pretty. I really love it. So now I have a bottle here. This was an empty bottle called Mr. Perfect, and I filled it about 1/3 of the way with water and added some Alien Kaleidoscope Powder, because that is going to give it some really fine shimmer to this water. And I'm just going to flick it off here. I'm not going to spray out of the bottle because I wanted some bigger drops. And the nice thing about these bottles is there's a spot that you can write on what you have made in that bottle. So I'm going to keep this for next time because look at all this shine. There is so much shimmer. It's really, really pretty when you add it to water and spray it on like this. I kind of like that. So you can do it with any color of kaleidoscope powder. My favorite is the Alien for this technique. And now I'm going to go ahead and color up those gardenias. I'm calling them gardenias, but they could really be any flower, and you can color them up in any color that you want. Today I am using a few colors of green for the leaves. I have them listed there. And I'll list them on the screen too, just in case you can't read those because it's kind of small. So I'm just going to color up those leaves. I go in with the darkest color, then the medium, and then blend it all out with the lightest color. And I didn't capture the coloring of the flowers, but I did use some neutral grays with the colorless blender to color in those flowers. And I'm so sorry that I didn't get that on video. But they are super simple to color up, and I just added some extra dark lines in the center there and kind of blended those out with the medium and then the light and then the colorless blender. So really simple, kind of the same technique I use on these leaves, just on the petals. I'll just finish up these last few leaves here just to kind of give you an idea of how fast and easy these images are to color, which is one thing that I love. And I do love that you can do whatever you want. The nice thing about creating cards is it doesn't have to be realistic. It can be a rainbow flower if you wanted it to be. Now I'm just going to stamp on that sentiment that came in the set. I'm going to use the same black ink that I've been using all along, and I do have to mention that I never thought I would find another favorite black ink that replaced the VersaFine Onyx black ink, but this one does. And the reason why is because you can stamp it, it doesn't smear, it dries very quickly. You can use it with Copic coloring and watercoloring, and that's not something that you can use with VersaFine. So this one still wins. I added the flowers using some foam tape, and now I'm going to go ahead and make my card bases. And I always use this bone folder because it has a nice sharp point to it, which really works so well with my scoring board. So another favorite that I've found this year. I'll just attach it to a top folding card base, just lining that up here. And there is our first card. And now I'll go ahead and finish up the coloring on the other flower. I am using the same greens as I did before, just with the YG05 and the YG01. This is a really smaller, it's a smaller area, so it's just really easy to color up. Very, very quick here. You can see, super easy. Now for the pink colors, I chose these colors because they're kind of like a corally pink when you use them all together. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I used that light green to add some dots to the center of the flower, and now I'm going in with a Y11 to add the rest of the dots, and that's the center. For this part, I am going to use 3 different colors, kind of peachy pink colors, and when they all come together, I think it makes for a really beautiful combination. And that's the R21, R11, and E00. And right now this is a favorite of mine, so I really wanted to use it on this beautiful flower. You can see that when I go in with the darkest color, the R21, I extend some of those lines and then I blend them out with the R11 and leave a little white space to go in with the E00. You get kind of a translucent look to this flower. I think it's really very pretty. Give it a try. I like it. So I've got a couple of different gems here that I wanted to show you. These are new from Maker Forte as well, and I am starting to fall in love with all of their gem colors. These two especially, let me show you in just a minute. I'm going to attach this first to the card base using some liquid adhesive, and now I'll show you those gems. The first one is, this first one here is called Rhubarb Ripple, and it's kind of a peachy pink with a little bit of brown to it. It's so pretty, and it goes with a lot of different colors for a lot of cards. So I'm going to add a few here. This next one is called After the Rain. Maybe it's called Before the Rain. But look at this. It changes colors, kind of to pink, to green, to blue, and depending on what color background you put it on, it changes to that color. So these are really neat as well. I ended up not using them on this card today. You'll see when I pick it up, I forgot to glue them down. But this one's done. Take a look at that. You're going to see here that those gems start falling off. But I ended up not using those. So there we go. In the pictures at the end, you'll see that I did add a mat of cardstock paper to those other two. I made these previously and I just redid them in this video for you today so you could see. But here, this one has a mat of a light pink cardstock from Maker Forte, and this one I used their beautiful scrunchie paper, and it's so pretty. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you'll give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, and be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing, and I'll be back with some more card inspiration real soon. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.